Welcome back, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to our 5-star Toronto real estate podcast. Happy to start off the new year. Happy New Year, everyone. We have Kenny here today, Winston, Richard, and myself, Steve.
Oh, Happy New Year's, guys.
Yeah, to
Welcome back.
Bring you guys a recap of last year, 2023, and some predictions for this upcoming year.
Awesome. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, this is our first official 2024 recording. So you guys might have already just seen that we just uploaded an episode, but that was done in December.
Yeah, it was some delays because of illness and holidays, and
it was rough, huh? Like December,
the
last
month was really
everyone was sick. It was bad.
Yeah. I mean,
I got sick twice, back to back.
You know, I heard. Stupid. So I heard there's 3 things that were actually getting going around. It was like COVID, respiratory illness, like a strep throat, I think it was, and then it was the flu that was going around.
I can't distinguish. It was just sick and sick.
But it felt like there was like three things that were just going around, and everyone was getting like sick for weeks. It wasn't even like
it's crazy. I couldn't even do the countdown. I got sick on the 31st.
Oh, man,
and then
crazy.
I came. Wow. So I had a couple friends. We were all sick at the same time, and then
stayed at home.
Everyone was okay by the 3rd. It was crazy.
Well, besides the finish of the year, it was the year for everyone.
That's a good recap.
Yeah, good recap.
Yeah,
let's go, guys.
That was the year for everyone.
Are we recapping our personal lives or real estate?
No, just we're gonna do some real estate stuff now.
Okay. So, anyways, 2023 was a wild ride. It was up and down. It's a very interesting year. So we're just gonna recap what happened starting in January of 2023. Things were pretty wild. Things were a seller's market. There was bidding wars. You remember? If we look back to our videos last year, one couple listings had multiple offers up to 30 offers.
Yeah, it was actually really crazy until...
It was very active, actually.
Very, very active.
I think it was
It was
July?
actually right around this time of the year. So it was like the second part of January when things were starting to fly.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bank of Canada held the rates last year around December, and January just took off.
Yeah.
It was full of optimism.
Oh yeah, early last year they held rates and everyone thought, okay, that's it. That's
because they kept on increasing it so much last year, or in 2022. That when 2023 hit, it was like, okay, they held the rate. It was like, oh, optimism.
Yeah, let's go, multiple offers, and then they increased the rates around in June, and then everything fell off the cliff again.
And then the confidence just dipped.
No one had a good time. It's been quiet ever since, from June to I say December. It's been pretty quiet.
Yeah. Actually, if we're looking at the market stats, we're looking at so we started going down in July, but in August, September, October, November, we're down about 300 units sold in general, all of GTA, right? So we were seeing a bit of a decline in terms of activity. And in December, we actually started to see a bit of an increase.
Usually December has a decrease.
Usually December is the slowest month.
2023 December was an increase.
Yeah. So this is a year-to-year comparison. Sorry. So 2022 versus 2023.
Yeah.
And so in December, we started seeing an increase in activity. I think more or less because of interest rates. Some of the interest rates started coming down on the mortgage.
On the fixed.
Yeah. On the fixed rates. Yeah. So what was interesting about working the pre-construction and the resale market is that we're still getting a lot of leads and inquiries for the pre-construction side, which tells me that there's a lot of buyers that are ready to make moves or ready to make a decision.
They're just on the sidelines.
They're on the sidelines. They're just waiting.
They are.
Yeah. And the interest rates were, because it was holding, and nobody really knew what was going on. Yeah. Until the last one, they just changed. They actually held it. But then they said that we're going to start decreasing it next year.
3 times in 2024.
Yeah. So that's again, we're in that optimistic,
right. Everyone's thinking, good vibes right now.
Yeah. You know what? If we're talking about the bottom, using the statistics here, and if we see that there's a decline in activity from August, September, October, November, right? And now we're starting to see an increase in activity in December. It just tells me that we're going to see more of an increase in activity versus
You're right. It seems like we hit bottom already.
Yeah.
So the reason why December kind of upticked, in my opinion, it was because of the bond yields dipped, which means that the fixed rates dipped. So it was a big difference. Like in early October, fixed rates, 5-year fix was like 6 point something. And then in December, it was like around 5 point something. It was a pretty big difference over the course of a couple of weeks. So people are like, oh, it's cheaper now.
You know what? I just overall, I think a lot of the purchasers right now, not that they don't have funds, but they are trying to time the market. Everyone is trying to get the best deal, trying to time it. Money's out there, it's just not flowing. That's just kind of what I'm seeing.
Yeah. People just waiting.
Yeah. Definitely the interest rate had a lot of impact on both markets, on the resale and the pre-construction market. We've seen, many projects start to either put their project on hold or, they're canceling or they're going bankrupt. 2023 was seeing a lot of challenges in the marketplace with distress selling. Distress selling being people are under pressure financially.
But if you look at the stats, the pricing has not really changed that much year over year.
Yeah, and I was just going to say is that actually the average price have come down. Yeah. So the average sold price from 2022
but it's very minimal. It's a very minimal.
It's very small, but it still went down. Normally we see an increase of whatever, like 3, 4, 5%.
I mean, that actually hasn't happened for quite a few years. I mean, it's always been up, whether it's small or significant. Yeah. But this is one of those years where it's actually
very minimal. It's very minimal. It's only about 40, 50,
it's like a blip in the overall upwards trend.
Overall pretty flat, right?
Small.
Okay, so I have some stats for GTA year over year median price change. So let's compare December 2022 to December 2023. So it's because GTA is so big, every region is going to be affected differently, right? So interestingly enough, the areas that dipped the most year over year are, and this is detached homes, by the way. Vaughan at negative 9.3%. I don't know why Vaughan did that much. I think it's because of the more luxury homes there, maybe. I think.
Was it overvalued at some point, maybe?
Yeah, 9.3.
So if you're looking at a $1.2 million home, you're looking at about $100,000 loss.
Math checks out. Yes.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
And this is median price. So, and following Vaughan would be Oshawa at negative 6.7%.
Okay.
Why? I'm not sure.
I mean, surprisingly, like Markham and Richmond Hill, they're pretty resilient.
Yeah, Markham went up 1.9%.
It went up. Oh my god.
Pretty flat though, but up isn't up, right?
Vaughan to Markham is not very far away. The distance wise.
Yeah, it might be because
to have that 10% skew is crazy.
Yeah, Toronto up 0.4%, so pretty flat.
Pretty flat.
Oh, and the next biggest decline is Ajax, negative 6.1%.
Okay.
Again, I don't do Durham, so I don't know why. If you guys could chime in or have some theories, welcome to hear it.
I'm not sure if this is accurate or not, but I know a lot of people are actually going back to the office now. A lot of jobs are forcing people, so the remote jobs are no longer viable. People that did move out previously kind of have to move closer back to the city. That's my take.
That's a good, that could be it.
That's true. That makes sense.
So overall, it's location, employment.
I mean, the only ones that are kind of going outwards, like that are dipping, are kind of like a little bit further
Okay,
out.
but explain this. Why is Newmarket up 21.5%? Explain that.
Oh, wow.
You know what? I can try to explain it.
All right.
So if I was to logically break it down. Okay, so if there's a family, let's say, that bought up property in 2021, 2022, right, at the peak of the market and like the mad rush of COVID, now their rates have gone up so much, they're now under real distress, but their home was fitting for their life situation. So if they had a family of, let's say 3 kids, themselves, like the 2 couples, so a family of 5, right, they have 2 options. They have 2 options. Either they move out of the area into a similar size home, into a neighboring market like Newmarket, versus selling and then buying into a smaller property so instead of like a 4-bedroom house, you're buying into a 3-bedroom house, right? So it might not be fitting for a 3-bedroom house.
But 21% though, it went up 21%.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of distressed sellers. That's just one reason. That's just one logical thought process.
So it went up.
It went up
increase.
I know,
21.
that's what I mean. Everyone moved into New Market. So like
Because
everyone
So,
they
it
were
drove-
cheap?
so there's demand.
New Market is cheaper than like
It is.
than,
It
like
is.
say Marco, say Vaughan, Richmond Hill.
Oh, okay.
Marco,
Even
what you mean.
Aurora.
Okay.
I get
right?
that.
Like everyone's moving into like a neighboring market.
Oh, because
that's still
because they
reachable.
couldn't
That's-
afford where they're at.
exactly.
They
Okay.
moved to the next cheapest option.
That's like exactly. what
So
I'm talking about.
right when they needed to renew a mortgage, they
they
decided
sell
to
their expensive
sell,
home.
Yeah.
and then they moved to.
Or they could be, in the
for
middle
their-
of their contract. They could be in the middle of their, mortgage, and they're like, I can't afford it anymore because my variable interest rate has gone up by like
Maybe they're not fixed.
$2,000,
True. Yeah.
right? And I can't afford my home anymore. Therefore, I have to move into a cheaper
Similar
market.
size, different location.
Correct.
Just to kind of give a little bit of context, what's Aurora's numbers?
Aurora's 3.3 up 3.3.
Okay, that actually makes sense now. So if you're saying Markham went up, which is irregular,
Mhm.
Richmond Hill
Mhm.
probably stable or if not up a little bit.
Richmond Hill.
Yeah.
So your theory goes out the window. Richmond Hill is down 3.7%.
What? It's so weird. Oh, you know what? It might be the 404, the highway.
Yeah.
It could be like people
Yeah.
want it, and then because they can't afford Markham, they're buying
Yeah.
Aurora. Aurora couldn't afford it, then they go to Newmarket.
Yeah.
But they still keep that
It's
highway.
Yeah, it's all highway related. So
maybe.
there's no HOV lane in Aurora and Newmarket. That's why it went up.
I don't know why.
man.
It
No,
doesn't
but then
make
why did
sense.
Oshwa go down? And why did HFS
Yo,
go down?
nothing makes sense.
Nothing makes sense. It's just random.
So, okay. So the same thing happened in Stouffville. Stouffville's a winner. Plus
They
10
won?
point- yeah, plus 10.2% Stouffville.
That is
Stouffville is a growing neighborhood.
It is.
wildly
Sort of.
weird.
It's actually a really nice community. It's very quiet. It's
But why would it go 10% up?
because it's cheaper.
It's not that much cheaper.
It's
There's
actually
a lot of
talking
new,
about
cheaper.
all.
there's a lot of
like,
new construction.
There,
there.
it's
But
actually
it's-
pretty
but
cheap there.
We're talking about only detached homes right now.
Yeah, detached homes.
I'm not sure if you ever studied the market in Stouffville, but if you were looking at a Richmond Hill property at 1.2,
Yeah.
right. Let's just say a regular, like a freehold townhouse was
Yep.
about 1.2 in Richmond Hill, Markham, right?
Yep.
1.2. In Stouffville, it would be about 900, 1 million.
Okay.
So it's not even like 10 minutes drive,
Yeah. And Stouffville is likely newer too.
and it's newer
10 minutes drive from where?
from Markham, Richmond
Well,
Hill. It's like 10, 15 minutes drive, and you're
One
saving
way,
almost
though.
100,000.
I mean, it's. I get it. I get it.
Stouffville's good, man. It's
Yeah.
a good area.
It's a growing community. It
is.
It's sort of like a feeder area for like overpopulated Markham.
What's a feeder area?
So like if it's overpopulating in one area and people
It's
don't
just
want to move in the area,
just
they're
sprawling
sprawling out to Stouffville. What was Caledon then?
Caledon, negative 3.6.
This is
so weird.
How about Brampton? That's just
Brampton
beside
is
Brampton.
negative 0.7. See, Brampton is surprising. I thought it'd go down, but
It didn't even go down much.
it's very
It's very
flat.
stable,
Yeah.
Well, most of these towns, cities, they have the GO train, like Stouffville.
But why did Vaughan go down 9%? Like that's absolutely insane.
But again, because we're just basing this off very limited sales numbers. Like, because
That's true.
2023 had the lowest sales volume in the last 20 years or something like
That's-
that, right? Something
Yeah.
like that. So we're not going by huge numbers. So
It
It's
seems so
baffling
random.
to me.
Like the
Like,
increases and decreases, it seems very random.
Very
It's pretty hard to
random.
logically like.
again, based on limited numbers.
It can't be
Yeah.
based on demand because I know there's
This is
there's
year to
definitely
year.
demand.
This is like a year
Yeah,
average.
year over year, December 2022 to December 2023.
Oh, December. Oh, December.
December.
Months. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's
Well,
a big
I-
difference.
No, I mean it's still year
for the
over year.
for the 12-month
Yeah.
period.
Okay, so let's talk about year over year median price change for condos then, from
Okay, yeah.
December 22 to December 23. So
What's the
year
biggest
over year
loser?
change.
The biggest
The biggest loser would be, okay, I don't do the West End, but WO4 is negative 12.1%. Do you
So
guys
that's
do
a-
WO4?
WO4. It's
that is
I think
Humber,
that's
Humber Summit area.
Yeah, like just south of Downsview Airport, like
Yeah.
around there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why.
that's the biggest loser, huh?
That's the big. Oh no,
Condos.
sorry. That's not the biggest. The biggest loser is CO2.
But at what rate though? What,
That's
CO2
Cedarville,
negative CO2
Oakwood?
negative 26.7% for condos.
26%
Yeah.
decrease.
So it's like Cedarville, Oakwood.
You said Casa Loma or something like that, right?
I think it's like St. Clair and Oakwood.
Yeah.
That's
Anyways.
the region area.
That's surprising
Yeah.
for condos. Wow, I'm
I think,
surprised.
well, that area is very luxurious. So maybe the luxury condo kind of took down the price.
by 26%.
Negative 26, yeah.
Oh, it's
There's a
pretty
mix.
crazy.
In
But
that area,
most of
there's
the
a
most of
mix.
the stats are actually within the Toronto area, not so much on the outskirts.
It's
it is
Toronto.
It is Toronto
It's
condos
Toronto.
that are actually taking a dip right now. It's
You know,
actually
even
a pretty
Vaughan,
good time.
even Vaughan, like for example, like Transit City. I was looking at the prices there recently, and I'm seeing some great deals.
There are some great deals. There's
There's
a lot
some
of inventory
fantastic
too.
Mhm.
deals. Like honestly, like you're getting a 2-bedroom and den in the low 700s.
Yeah.
Or in like the mid 700s.
It's pretty sweet.
When you're talking about year over year, the condos actually in Toronto went down 4.1%
Overall, right?
overall.
Overall.
Like, well, yeah, in Toronto.
If you combine every
But
aspect.
here's
of
an
it.
interesting though. Practically no change to detached. It's just negative 0.3%. Semi-detached is 1.5%. That increase. But the highest performer was townhouse, increased by 25.3.
So if you bought
High
earlier,
riser.
if you bought 1 year before, basically your property went up 25%.
Yeah, that's kind of like the sweet spot.
Well, you know what? Honestly, that doesn't surprise me. And I'll tell you why. Is because people who are living in a semi or a detached,
They're not moving.
they're not
much.
really moving.
They've already reached their goal.
Yeah. Townhomes are the
Ki-
ones that would move a lot. Like a lot of people are.
A lot more transactions in townhomes,
Yeah.
I believe.
Well, there's a huge driver for people moving out of condos with growing families.
Correct,
with more
yeah.
You know what? I think
space.
a lot of the investments started off with condos, and then they upgrade themselves to the townhouse, where that's where majority of the demand is. And a lot of people, for whatever reason, they just had to sell at a loss or like less for condos.
just to get into townhomes.
It could be a timing thing, like over a 12 month span, right? So just from these numbers, if you bought into a townhouse last year, congrats, you guys did good.
Smart
You know
move.
what I'm saying? But if you bought a condo at the height, yeah, hold on tight.
But then it depends on the area too.
It does.
Like when you say 905, it could be like, yeah, as you said,
Well,
Mississauga
there was the
or
416.
Markham,
The
like
416 went up like 20-something % in townhomes.
It's an average price, guys. Like
It's not specific, but
Yeah.
I
mean,
it's just to kind of give a general picture of what's going on.
So what's our conclusion for 2023? It was very rocky. It was
Rocky?
up and down.
Yeah.
It was very up and down.
uncertain would be the word.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so if we're looking at a trend line for 2023, and we're just to give you a straight recap of like what happened, January, February, March, April, May, the market was going up on an upward trend. Then June, July, August, downwards, it was basically
It's
going
pretty
down.
slow.
It was a pretty
dead.
steep downwards,
Yep.
actually.
And
Yeah,
then
it was pretty
slight
steep.
uptick in December.
Yeah, exactly.
They have to.
So
Yeah,
if
you
we're doing
gotta-
a-
you gotta do this cutting motion.
Slight uptick.
so
The ones that's an
Very,
audio
very,
can't
very
see, but
visual.
No one's
Very
gonna see
visual.
it, but
just so you know, man.
just to make sure you're like the hand motion.
It's okay. So what about 2024, guys? Like, where do you guys see the market going?
2024 is interesting. I don't know what you guys. I don't know if you guys
Let's
invest
go one
in
at a
stocks.
time. One at
I don't
a
know if you
time.
guys invest in stocks, but my stocks are going crazy right now, rallying hard.
Market's going
Yes,
crazy right
yes.
Like I'm looking at my
Um,
portfolio, it's like all-time highs.
Well,
It's
I mean,
actually
okay,
kinda
think about
crazy.
it. Like,
It's gonna
it's all
10x.
based on consumer confidence,
Yes.
Yes.
right? And once they announce that the rates are holding and they're going to be decreasing rates, consumer confidence, like,
3 rate drops in 2024.
yeah,
Yeah.
once, especially when they announce that they're going to do 3 rates drops, and I think the first one is probably going to be around April.
Spring. Yeah.
Apparently, a lot of people that came to Canada, they finished their courses like seeking for their permanent residence. They're on the fence, waiting for better times.
So
and
your prediction?
prediction for 2024, they're going to jump into the market as well,
Okay.
into the buyer pool. So anyone
Maybe.
sitting on the fence, it's not like there's no competition. There's natural, there's organic.
Well, I think there's going to be more competition because people are making more money back in the marketplace now.
Yes.
So
I
there's
think
more
because the
cash
stock's
to be
going
working.
up,
Exactly.
people are actually creating more wealth. With that, because they have that more confidence, they will enter the market this year.
So I was just saying, like, there's organic demand plus there's immigration demand. That's
That's
That's-
pretty typical, though.
Yeah. That's all the time.
Yeah.
there's more so now because people are past year or two. There hasn't been PR buyers. They were, unsure.
Yeah, no, definitely. There was more on the sideline because of everyone.
The
Again,
rates.
there's more sideline buyers. They're just waiting.
Yeah, because the rates really deterred them because they saw the rates going up, and then they either just got their PR or.
But that's everybody though. Like every buyer.
No, but they didn't have a home. They were renting.
But
right?
okay, so I mean, like obviously we were talking about like possible increase in transactions this year, but what about rentals? Like, what do you guys think about the rental market?
I think it's still going to be very active.
Because last year was actually kind of stupid. Like for rentals, it was.
I think it's still going to stay stupid.
Well, there's like all-time shortages. Like vacancy rates are still extremely low. I recall there's just renting out a house, and we were asking for $6,000. This is anecdotal, but we right away got several
couple offers. Okay, so there is that demand
for full price,
but that was 2023. Which was crazy in market.
They
in
literally
rentals.
moved in January 1st. That's how.
That's crazy. But no, I mean, to go on 2024, I think the market's going to stay hot on the rental end because
I agree.
Affordability is going to be still a bit of a challenge.
I think we had a conversation last time, Richard, that the rental market is actually like cheaper than home ownership.
Correct.
You remember that?
So I was breaking down the numbers, for like a group discussion.
Yeah. We're just kind of chatting.
I mean, for first-time home buyers, the reason why I think that is because first-time home buying is still ultimately challenging because, what used to be when people were able to get in at the lower interest rate, you're basically paying, about, let's say, $500 per $100,000 you loan, right? On your mortgage. So if you're buying a condo at around, let's say, $600,000 and you have $100,000 down.
Yep.
Right. That's you borrowing $500,000.
Yeah.
Right.
Times
so
that by
500 times 5 would be about $2,500 a month.
Just on the mortgage.
Just the mortgage.
Yeah.
Right. So it was versus rental versus like owning. It was almost the same. So people were more inclined to own. Now, if you were to be in that same scenario of $100,000 down and $600,000 in your condo, you're, basically about 600 plus ish per 100,000. So we're looking at about 32, 33, around that area. Right. So now that doesn't include property tax, doesn't include your maintenance fees. So now all of a sudden, renting is still very viable because you're looking at about $2,500 for rent on a one bedroom versus that same one bedroom that you're buying. It's going to cost you about $4,000 a month.
And a lot of it does just kind of go to interest. It doesn't even go to your principal.
That's right. So, I mean, it's still a great opportunity to buy if you have the cash flow to purchase because the equity is probably going to go up in the near future.
Right.
But in terms of cash flow situation wise, it becomes very tight.
Yeah, I think cash flow wise, it's going to be a little bit tight for some people, but definitely because the prices right now are still deflated. We were just looking at the numbers. They're down, 20-something% for condos, you said?
No, that's only for one specific area, CO2.
You should buy in CO2 now and then hope for it to
I
go
think
up,
CO2 was actually pretty expensive because it was a pretty prestigious area in general. So the decrease kind of makes sense if the condo market is slow. Right. So if people are desperate to sell,
but
there's
going
to be a lot of people under stress this year with mortgage renewals. So it's going to if that's the case with CO2 area, then I can see that kind of going down.
Could be a good opportunity for buyers, first-time home buyers specifically to start looking into some condos. Maybe, again, there could be a deal here and there. If they can get something cheaper now and not have to, like we said, 3 rate drops, that's going to trigger the market to go into a frenzy. Once it does go into a frenzy, now you're bidding. You're going to be in constant bidding wars, and you might have to overpay just to.
I can see us getting closer to 2017, 2018, where bid wars people are getting into because once rates are lower, people
are you talking about prices?
No, not prices.
Activity,
but activity wise, people they're optimistic. So there's a buyer confidence coming back.
Or 2022, you don't have to go back that far.
Yeah, 2022 early part was pretty crazy.
That was all-time high.
It was high optimism.
I don't think we're going to get to those prices this year. I don't think so.
I think the activity level will be, but maybe not so much the prices. I think
what do you mean? The prices, you don't think it'll catch up to
Not to
2022.
2022. Not this
Peak?
year. Yeah, that was the peak. 2022 was all-time high.
I'd say the prices will start increasing overall second half of this year.
Yeah,
That's-
I'm just
I
saying
see-
it won't
I see
reach
that.
that price. Those high price points.
It's going to recover though.
It's gonna
gonna
recover.
No, I
recover
think
this
it'll
year.
even out, it'll flatten out. Like you'll basically be about level where you bought it at in 20 from like the peak of 2022.
You think so?
way.
I
By the
don't
end
know.
of the
I
year,
don't
by the end of
know.
2024, you don't think it's gonna be leveled out?
I don't think so. Because
Okay,
we're
Is there an
doing
example you're thinking of?
My prediction
everything.
is
What do you mean? Like all the pricing. Like let's just say a semi in Markham was selling for 1.7. Do you think a semi will go for 1.7 again in Markham this year? I don't think
it's
so.
gonna be tough.
It'll go up a bit. It'll be better than last year, but I don't think
Where,
we're gonna,
where are you saying the 1.7? So what's the house value now?
right now.
Yeah.
1.4.
So
135.
300,000 gain.
Yeah, it's not gonna reach 1.7 in 1 year in
No, it
2024.
won't.
It shouldn't.
I think that's there's some specific markets that probably won't see it.
Well, keep in mind, 2022, before the prices dropped, the interest rates were rock bottom.
Yeah.
We're not going to reach those bottom rates again this year.
2022? Right. Oh, yeah,
2022.
22. Oh, yeah. Okay. No,
Yo, what are you talking about, man? Yeah.
I'm thinking 2023. Sorry, my
Brain
bad.
fog.
My
Oh,
bad.
okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2023. My bad.
'Cause-
my brain hasn't adjusted yet to the
Because
2024.
realistically, like it does sound very optimistic that rates are going to be coming down, but no one's really talking about how much is it going to come down. Is it going to come down a
0.25
like
each time.
0.25 each time?
Yeah.
That's not going to make a significant
It
difference.
is.
No. So what I'm trying to say is, it's not going to make a big significance to buyers that are paying like $100,000 more.
No, but what
and
the-
you get 0.75 off.
No,
in the rate.
what the significance is that it triggers that we reached the bottom
Yeah.
and rates are coming
Yeah.
down. So it doesn't even matter if we drop 0.25, dude. It's gonna cause a lot of activity.
It will. I'm not gonna disagree with that. All I'm saying is, for a buyer to wait for that to happen and have to overpay, it doesn't make sense for them on the monthly, because they're paying more, because they have to pay a bigger purchase price, even though that the rate is coming down.
Hey, but my usual advice for a lot of buyers is to act fast and buy now, even with a higher payment. Because
Typical realtor talk, man. Buy now.
no. But here's my logic. Because rates can come down, rates can move,
And it
But-
will come down.
but
Yeah.
your principal loan. If you mean I have to borrow 300,000 now, as opposed to when I'm having a bid war, I have to borrow 500,000. That principal amount is not going to change with the loan with the lender.
Yeah.
But rates, right?
It fluctuates.
It'll fluctuate. It'll come down. So I would definitely take a temporary hit now.
pay the higher price. Pay the higher rate.
Pay the higher rate, but
Get a lower
at a lower mortgage rate. Not rate.
lending rate.
Yeah, no
Lending amount.
Lending amount. So
yeah.
I would definitely.
I would suggest that too. Like, I mean,
So
you can
if
always
if you have the cash that you can do it,
yeah.
the disposable income to actually pay that extra bit, then do it.
Because-
I'd
because-
say it's a great opportunity.
Because
You're
it's
right.
bar-
it is.
like you're
But
able to
if you-
bargain now.
Because if it
But-
comes down, let's say the rates come down, just refinance it. Get the new rate. Take the hit. Whatever.
Yeah.
You're still going to get a better deal on your
Especially with the new
300,000.
mortgage laws that
Yeah.
are out now, right?
Yeah.
Because you can shop around for your rate. Like you don't have to lock
Yeah,
yourself
if you
in
see
for
it, if you get you don't have to get a fixed rate either. You can get a variable.
Because if you speculate and see, oh, maybe rates are gonna really come down in 2 years. Okay, I'm just gonna
No,
get 2 years.
you're right, Steve. To your point, yes, you're right. If you have the cash flow, it makes sense to do it. But to Winston's point, if you don't have the cash flow, it's going to be really difficult for people to get in.
it'll be
Yeah.
hard for some people to pay that $4,000 for a condo per month or something, right? But
For sure.
Anyways, yeah, we're a couple days into January. So just from my personal experience, I don't know about you guys, but I'm finding activity has been picking up. So when you book a showing,
Yeah.
you could sometimes see
Block.
like
The time blocks. Yeah.
people other agents booking at the same time, right? So it seems like when I booked like a condo, for example, in North York,
Yep.
there's always someone before me and after me. So compared to December, activity has definitely picked up. I
Yeah,
find.
December was like open, like, come please show my property. sort of
Yeah, I
deal.
mean, at the same time, I'm seeing a lot of listings that are trying bidding strategies again,
Yeah, I've seen that too.
holding offers, right?
I'm seeing
Holding
that.
offers for 1 week. So whether or not that works remains to be seen. I'm eyeing a few listings right now,
yeah,
but a lot of them are trying right now.
I'm seeing the trends actually being very, very similar to how we saw the trends go from early 2023, where we're seeing the activities pick up now.
Yeah.
So last year around December, we're seeing a very quiet market. Then, 2 weeks into January,
Happens
it was
every
starting
year.
to pick up
Yeah.
because there's optimism. So the consumer confidence is up. Therefore, we're seeing that the market is actually starting to pick up in activity.
Yeah.
And like last year, again, by second week of January, we saw 20, 30 offers on houses, right? So I feel it's going to be the exact same pattern as it was last year. So we're going to see an increase, actually a gradual increase throughout the first quarter of the year. And then once they drop rates, if they do drop rates in April, it's going to increase even further.
Yep.
And then as they gradually increase, I think the activity is going to start going back.
Once they drop it a second time, it's going to increase the pricing, third time, etc.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think inflation rate has come down. It has worked.
Inflation's fine.
Yeah, it's
It's
at
fine
3
now.
point something or something, right? I think it's
Yeah,
dropped
I
down
think
from the
it's- I think
5
it's-
point
I think
something
it's-
down to like 3. So it has worked. There is less spending overall. And I think that's what's going to make the government more comfortable in lowering the rates.
Yeah. I think we're probably going to settle, like, honestly, like we're probably going to settle around like 4 or 5% for our mortgage rates, where it typically would be before like the lower increase.
I think so.
lower
Maybe
decreases.
end of the
Yeah.
year, maybe 4.5%
Yeah.
would be the norm.
Yeah. Like it'd be norm. Like this is like, I'm talking about like annualized norm, like 2024, 4 or 5%.
Yeah.
Right. 2026 would be about 4 or 5%. Right. So it's going to be, and it's a common trend that's going to keep going.
Yeah.
The 1% stuff was
The
never
one, the
sustainable.
0.9.
That's
the
always
1.1,
that was
it's
always
like,
we've always said it was unsustainable. That was just to inject after COVID, right? So
yeah. Well, where do you guys see the market going now, going forward? I want to start with Kenny.
yeah. Start with Kenny.
No, I agree with you, man. So gradual increase. Like I don't know. Okay, so I see a lot of listings right now. A few good listings that they're staged well, that are photographed well. Those have been selling pretty quickly. Like I saw a listing sell within 2 days this week. I want to say that there's a lot of bad listings out there. Don't you notice? Like if you, for example, go to North York condos, right? There's a lot of trash listings where it's either tenanted or it doesn't show well. It has like cell phone photography, really high maintenance fees, old buildings. There's a lot of those around. But once a listing comes up that's staged, looks nice in a good building, it sells really quick now.
Yeah.
And it's just based on my 1 week, observation. Right.
Okay.
Well, it's part of buyers being selective.
Yeah.
They want to buy
Yeah.
something that's
It's true.
move it ready.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you guys, but this week, because this is the first week that kids are back to school and everyone's back to work full time, right?
Normal.
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of calls from buyers who were on the sidelines last year.
Yeah.
And now they're calling me saying, okay, I think we're more ready to move now.
Yeah.
So I'm getting
Yeah.
a lot of those calls.
It's good.
And I think this is just going to keep picking up until I don't think the prices will pick up a lot until that first rate decrease. Things are selling now.
You know what? I think there's going to be some gradual
Yeah,
increases.
gradual, but I'm not
It's not going to be like significant.
exactly.
increases,
Exactly.
But there's going to be gradual increases from now to, like March.
Yeah,
Right.
the prices I'm seeing now are still, kind of market value, not too surprising. They're
Mhm.
still under asking price. I think by the springtime, like you said, it's going to pick up a little bit more. And I think we're going to be better off in 2024 than last year.
Mhm.
That's
Okay.
definitely.
It's also going to affect sellers' confidence. When they hear the news, they're able to either price it more or hold out longer for the right buyer.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they're going to get multiple offers now, because the demand is going to go back up. Like I see demand going up right now.
Because
Yeah.
So therefore, the prices are generally going to go up because the demand's going up.
Because
All
more
right. So
often,
what's your prediction?
Well, let's go with you first. Let's go in order.
Well, I mean, you were already on it, so
I already gave my predictions.
okay. So my prediction with the market confidence, I think the stocks are going up. Everyone's just feeling really gung ho. They feel like it's election year in the U.S., so it's gonna definitely affect just kind of the overall confidence on that side. And then when they make money, we make money. There's going to be more money coming into the market. And with if our rates do come down as well, I think by summer we're going to have a lot of activity. Prices are probably going to be not increasing dramatically, but there's going to be a lot of bidding wars, I feel, by summer.
Yes. I
Okay.
agree. Yeah.
Okay, Steve,
yeah, I share the same thing, to be honest. I see this potentially being a record year.
for transactions or price?
I say transactions.
Okay.
Price-wise, it's kind of up in the air. We don't know. Marginal, it could be like a lateral increase. Won't be substantial, but there's going to be more activity for sure.
Okay.
After summer.
So it sounds like we're all in pretty much the same page.
Yeah.
It's hard to make a point where things will be bad this year? Like, it's really hard.
It's pretty optimistic. Like, it's very, very optimistic.
Yeah.
Last year we okay. So if we go back to our episode 5 video or episode 5 listeners, I think Winston made the right prediction.
Did you?
What was this?
Because he said that we're going to see a bit of an increase like throughout the spring, and then the market was going to slowly decrease. I forget his reasoning why, but I remember him saying
His reasoning why was his random guess. That's why.
No, it's not. It's just
But
always
I forget
educated.
his reasoning, but
Even this one, watch, it's gonna come to fruition.
Okay, rewatch that segment.
Yeah.
Remind me in 1 year. Cool, man. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
This good podcast. It's good to see you guys again in the new year. So
Yep, for sure.
all the best in 2024.
Yeah. Please, if you guys like this, please subscribe and give us a like. Comment.
Hit the bell button. What else?
Yeah.
Right
That's
on.
YouTube.
What else?
What else do we need them to do?
Thumbs up. Comment.
Please share our episodes if you enjoy our content.
Well, we'll definitely keep tuning in. Obviously, we have a lined up a number of guests.
We have a lot of topics coming up.
A lot of shows coming up this year.
Yeah.
So we're prepared for another good year.
Another good year for sure.
Wonderful.
Year number 2. Let's go.
Great. All right.
All right. Later, guys.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.